All right, and welcome and to another film and TV news because today is going to be a huge one because as you know, Legendary Entertainment was in talks on the global signing global theatrical output deal with Skydance owned Paramount. If you don't know, Legendary was known from the entertainment company who's co-financed with companies like films from mostly for content from Warner Brothers to Universal and now Paramount. Well, Sony Pictures had a show lately having box office failures and stuff, including The Machine and um, and the Book of Clarice, but yeah, that's pretty much the disappointment. Sony Pictures are not happy to do a box office failures between um, the Machine and the Book of Clarence, but yeah, I'll show my own. Anyway, and he's a well-known partners who best known the films were related to the companies, including the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan's films like Inception, and then the seller we'll talk about later, as well along the Dune franchise and more, and of course the biggest of all, a Minecraft movie. And also, he's also produced, literally produced of the Toxic Adventure reboot remake movie. I'm 100% excited for that because along with Anthony Shovel, this is going to be the more grounded take of the Toxic Adventure movie in back in the original Toxic Adventure for Trauma in the 80s. So this is huge. I know that Literary and Paramount worked before. Best known of he worked in the two movies. First was the Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie, was co-distributed with Warner Bros. Pictures. Warner Bros. Handled the domestic distribution rights, and Paramount handled the international rights. And I mean, this movie's becoming a cult classic, but you know what? I don't care. This movie is not cult classic. It's terrible. The mediocre acting is like writing and making no sense. I don't care. The director Zack Snyder is a pretty much the terrible filmmaker, and I think the Watchmen chapters 1 and 2 was a better film because he's an animated. But I don't know. And yes, don't watch Watchmen movie. And all the other rest. And then later they did he distribute with along with Warner Brothers again with Christopher Nolan's Interstellar because Paramount Pictures handled the domestic rights while Warner Brothers handled the international rights. So that's just an interesting one. Like I didn't know to mention that he had an overhaul deal. At the time, the same year that 2014 and then 2013, that before that, you literally signed a deal with Universal to do films like more successful like Steve Jobs biopic, Straight Outta Compton, Jurassic World, and of course Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Black Men, and that's pretty much it. But and especially the sequels of like Jurassic World, um, Fallen Kingdom was, and especially the third Jurassic World movie was not involved because they had into the deal with Universal. But whereas anyway, and this is going to be an industry now. Upon another deal, this is going to be a new. Paramount's going to be like this similar with Warner Brothers, like Michael DeLuca and Penn Abbey had a deal, but this what we'll talk about in the minute or so. So let's do reporting from Deadline. Another big deal that the new David Ellison led Paramount is working on. Literally, is in talks with a multi-picture global theatrical distribution deal, except for China, with the Mesros Everlot teams as it's still been worked out on this pack. It's been in the works for many levels for a while since the spring. Paramount expecting to we have spring window with a trend action window building with the legendary. I hear that as far as the legendary Paramount slate goes, co-financing is up to discussing concerts on the projects and at hand. What titles will be the release since to be announced or to be dating? Okay, literally current doesn't have the exclusive theatrical deal per se to any major studios. However, their multiverse and Dune franchise remain part with Warner Brothers, as well as in the Ryan Reynolds DC Momo live action animated hybrid movie Emerald Friends, which is set for the release on May 1st, 2026. I think it might be released from Warner Brothers. I think it might release for Paramount, but who knows? Also, not forget that the Warner's literary board claimed that this year's massive success, a micro movie, which made over 95.5 million dollars worldwide. That movie, the highest grossing, second highest grossing MPA film TY. I don't know what TY after Disney's $1 billion grossing deal, which is Lilo and Stitch live action remake movie from Disney. There is also the Andrew Noonan Intolan Gonzalez, I don't know what the name is Mexican. Tom Cruise movie at Warner Brothers. Literally, business with Warner Brothers continues even with this new Paramount deal. The sources that say that the BB more features announced between the two. Literally, having the theatrical output deal with Disney was ended in December last year. Warner literally runs at Warner's was much better box office wise than Sony, where they have the bulk of clearance with gross $6 million off the $40 million production cost, and the machine would cost $11 million of the $20 million production cost. Literally, deal with the global pack with the had the Culver City, California studio marketing and releasing this late since China, where there is East handle the all marketing and distribution of the movies. It's no ironic that Ellison's new chef in the concerts, Melissa Zuckerman, has a long history with literary Johnson Gordon and production cost Myra Perrin. Zuckerman have told the production financial company when she was in the financial communications. Paramount wasn't commenting. Yeah, this is pretty much the good news from the literary. I mean, the upcoming slate, including the Street Fighter movie, might be really maintained by Sony Pictures, but it might be released by Paramount. But pretty much this is going to be huge for Paramount and literary because this is going to be huge. Like I know this is like I said, I know that Josh Weinstein and Dana Goldberg was become the new Michael DeLuca and Penn Abbey because it's from for Warner Brothers Pictures. This is going to be more different. Like Paramount had to connect the filmmakers and actors and producers were related to the new Paramount brand. We bring all the entertainment brand, and it's pretty much under the new Skydance leadership. So I hope to see what happens in property and in coming months, weeks, or something. But I want to notice I want the upcoming slate between the different companies, Warner Brothers and Sony Pictures and a lot of others will retain. But even they had an overhaul deal with Warner, with distribution deal with Sony Pictures, but they haven't ended the agreement. But it retained that the films, including the both films, including the live action Street Fighter movie was in the works, for as well as the untitled The Alchemist film was supposedly filmed for co-produced with Rise Star Pictures. So, but will retain continued relationship with Sony Pictures despite the end of the global pact with Sony Pictures. So, that's pretty much the add to the box office service of the two previous legendary co-produced films that pretty much disappoint. So, we'll see what happens if literary minus and agree to sign a global theatrical deal with Paramount Skydance. Who knows? Or maybe these under the Skydance Paramount Pictures. So we'll see what happens. And I mentioned that I think literary might acquire. I heard the rumors that literary might acquired Lionsgate after the last year's output was a disappointment. Like. The Borderlands movie, The Crow, and Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, which you know is an infamous film you're familiar with. So, but we'll see what happens in the coming months. But I hope literally will become the rise of the to the success of a Minecraft movie. So let's take it talking, continue with the literary through Paramount. So we'll see. And I hope this, and I hope the new era of Paramount Skydance is discontinued despite the controversy between the cancellation of the late show with Stephen Colbert. But we'll see what happens. So I can see what Paramount Skydance do in the future. So let me know what you think in the comments. So hoping you like it. Like, comment, subscribe, ring in the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.